Hey, hi everybody. Welcome back to the Museum of America. It's me, Mannie Gentile, your always congenial host, and I got something kind of special for you this time. For many years, I worked as a park ranger at Antietam National Battlefield, and while I was there, I kind of staked out Civil War artillery as my thing. And to reach a wider audience, I wrote, shot, and edited a video on the subject, a short video that was put up on the park's website, and people enjoyed it. Well, shortly after I left, for whatever reason, it was taken down, and I thought, bummer. Then, bing! Why didn't I go back, find the master, put it up on YouTube myself? So I went through all of my tapes, many little mini DV tapes, and I couldn't find the master. So, plan B. I'm going to go back to my raw footage and begin the laborious process of re-editing the whole thing. Well, come to find out, key scenes were missing, a lot of the narration was missing, and I thought, well, it's just not going to happen. A couple of years went by, and then lo and behold, on a friend's website, Civil War blog called Wigwags, it's really good, check it out, she had posted that video in its entirety. Holy mazzoli! So I downloaded it, imported it to iMovie. I'm slapping on this introduction, I'll probably have something at the end, and away we go. And I'm so happy about this because I know how this sounds, but I think the editing in it is really good. Now, it took me about 6 years to compile all of the footage for this video. Every time there was a demonstration, artillery firing at the battlefield or up at South Mountain State Battlefield, I was there with multiple cameras, getting all of the firings from different angles. And then I had a very wonderful cooperative group of volunteer artillerymen. I couldn't have done this without them, who very patiently went through the whole loading procedure over and over and over so I could shoot it from all different angles. And you're about to see the result. Please leave comments. I love comments, even nasty ones, because I have a lot of fun with those. So without further ado, here it is, Civil War Artillery, Part 1. Over 500 guns, cannons, were used during the Battle of Antietam. Around 260 Union guns and 240 Confederate. During the course of the 13-hour battle, over 50,000 artillery rounds were fired. The devastating effect of these guns earned the battle the nickname of Artillery Hell. September 17, 1862 remains America's bloodiest day. And much of that carnage came from the muzzles of guns like these. With an experienced gun crew, the 12-pounder Napoleon could hurl its projectile with pretty good accuracy to distances of just under a mile. The rifled Parrott gun, however, could hurl its projectile with extreme accuracy up to 1 1/8 mile.
Cannoneers, post!
Each gun is served by 8 men. The commander of the gun, the gunner, is usually a corporal or a sergeant. Every other man on the detachment has a number and a specialized role. At the order, "Cannoneers, post!" all men face front, ready for action. The gunner will then order "Commence firing" and call out the type of ammunition to be used as well as the range. At this point, the number 3 man, using a thumb stall, will put his thumb on the vent. This will prevent a positive airflow from rushing down the gun tube, possibly forcing sparks from the previous shot up into the vent. The number 2 man will run the long corkscrew-like worm down the length of the barrel to clean out any debris that may have been left from that previous shot. After the number 2 man is finished worming, the number 1 man will run the dampened sponge end of the sponge rammer down the length of the barrel. This will extinguish any sparks or embers that may have been left by the previous shot. Meanwhile, the number 5 man goes to the ammunition chest on the limber to receive the ammunition from number 6. Number 6 has been preparing both the ammunition as well as cutting and setting the fuse. Number 6 will gently place the ammunition in the haversack, and the number 5 man will then return to the gun with the ammunition. The gunner lifts the flap of the haversack and inspects the round. The number 2 man will take the ammunition from the haversack, placing it in the barrel, powder bag first. Now the number 1 man uses the rammer end of the sponge rammer to ram the round all the way down the barrel. The gunner steps in behind the cannon, using his sight, aims the gun by looking down the barrel through his sights. By tapping on the trail of the gunner will indicate to the man standing behind him whether to move the gun slightly to the left or to the right. The gunner himself can elevate or depress the gun barrel by using the elevation screw. Once satisfied with the aiming, the gunner will raise both hands into the air. At this point, the gunner will say "ready" and steps away from the gun. Number 3 will take his long pointed priming wire and jam it down the vent. This will pierce a hole in the powder bag. Then number 4 will put a friction primer into the vent. This is the ignition system for the gun. Number 4 steps away from the cannon until the lanyard is almost entirely extended. Number 4 turns his head completely away from the cannon. The gunner gives the order "fire." Okay, now, as I said, that was just a brief overview of Civil War artillery. But you'll recall I talked about 2 different types of guns, smoothbore and rifled. This is, the traditional cannonball. This is the type of projectile that was fired by that 12-pounder light gun howitzer, the smoothbore gun. And this is a rifled projectile, an elongated projectile. This is in fact a 3-inch Hotchkiss shell. You can see the fuse in the end. It was a 3-part shell. There was the warhead, there was this back portion, and then there was a lead band in the center. Now, when this projectile was fired, the force of the detonation would force this back part against the warhead. This lead's got to go somewhere, so it gets squeezed outward. And as it does, that soft lead will engage the rifling, imparting a spin on it, which is essentially gyroscopic guidance. It was very advanced for the time. And you can see the indentation of the rifling on this lead band. Kind of cool, huh? Well, as the title said, this was Civil War Artillery Part 1. Part 2 just never got made. By the time I was getting around to it, I had left Antietam National Battlefield and moved on to another national park, but who knows, maybe someday I'll get it made. Let me see, anything else? Yeah, one more thing. Very important. Often this gets overlooked, but the Civil War was about slavery. Okay, gang. I'll see you next time on Museum of America. Take care.